Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode we're going to continue a little bit with our K2500 GMC project. Now, if you remember right, this thing had a problem where after it sat, it didn't want to start up very well, and we did diagnose that today and figured out what the problem was, and that is now fixed. And the problem was the mass airflow was basically just brain dead and not giving any sort of a reading. So besides that though, we did a couple of other things, and we can read out all the plugs. We did a compression test, cold air intake, when we ran some more data because we got the new upper hose, so we fixed the coolant leak so we could actually run the truck. So let's begin with our spark plug things. Alright, so now I have all the plugs laid out here on the screen, 1, 3, 5, and 7, which would be your bank 1 driver's side. So I also have the compression values listed below, which cylinder 1 was 155, cylinder 3 150, cylinder 5 148, and cylinder 7 140. Now if you have a look at the plugs, all of them except 3 look like they're running pretty rich. But other than that, I mean, they don't show any signs of damage or anything. They're just standard iridium plugs, you know. And they don't look like they're super old either, but still changed them because we had new ones, so that is bank 1. Now, the even bank was, or bank 2, or passenger side, whatever you want to call it, pretty much told the same story as bank 1, odds, whatever you want to call it as well. Only one that really stood out was cylinder 4 for 2 reasons. A, it wasn't quite as rich as the rest, and B, it had a little lower compression than the rest, but it was still good within spec. And you gotta figure too, we didn't do what the Haynes manual describes as the procedure. We didn't bring it up to operating temperature because, you know, I have to pull all 8 plugs out, and I probably would have burnt myself many times on the exhaust manifolds if I tried that. So next, we're going to do the compression test for number 7.
Ethan, go ahead, open it up and crank it. Okay. So we came in about, almost 140 on that one. Most of them have been 150, 148, 147. So I'd say as far as cylinders go, we're good to go on this one. So Ethan, what you doing?
I'm gonna fight with this number 7 spark plug.
So you're putting new plugs in it?
Yeah. What
kind of plugs you putting in it?
E3s.
What?
Yeah,
E3 plugs? You mean we're getting rid of the fancy unobtainium iridium plugs that everybody bows to?
Oh yes.
That cost like what, $68 a piece?
Yes.
Huh. Why does everybody hate on E3s? Because we run them in our 96 Suburban. I run them in that truck over there. I had them in my 454 SS. I even have one of my four-wheelers. And it's not understanding. I've read a lot of people on different forums that say they put them in there and their truck ran like shit. I've never had an issue with them. And the beauty about it is got these on the closeout on Rock Auto for $1.19 a piece. So why the hell not?
And you don't have to gap them either, so you don't have to worry about that being off.
So hate on them, love them, whatever. I've never had a problem with them.
Alright, so after we put all the plugs back in, we hooked up the scanner to look at some live data while it was running. This is where we figured out that the mass airflow was most likely a problem, because as you can see here, it's listing 0.32 pounds per minute while it's running, and we figured out that that is way too low, and even whenever you give it gas, it didn't even try to move at all. Now, you can look at the mass airflow sensor voltage, which we came to find out that is also way too low. That's at 243 hertz. That is considerably lower than what it should be. So now we're looking at what it was after we changed it out. So here you can see the mass airflow that we changed it with is considerably higher than what it was in the last one, 1.07 pounds per minute, which we found out that that is where it's around supposed to be. I mean, it's not dead nuts where it's supposed to be, but it's really close. Same with the hertz. That's a lot closer. It's supposed to be around 2,500, so that was pretty good.
So, where are we at?
Well, we have a new cold air intake on, which looks considerably better than the vortec intake because it has that stupid hat thing on it. It just, to me, looks last minute because they wanted to get the vortec name.
Yeah, and BT Dubs totally saved like 10% off this thing. So yeah, it may get 5 horsepower, but hey, 5 more is better than 5 less, right? So what are you doing now?
All right, now I'm looking at HP tuners. And
oh, so you're on the laptop.
And everything looks okay.
It does. All right.
Gotta light it up.
Let's light it up. Yep.
Now, as before, this is read in pounds per minute, mass airflow. On here, and the MAF sensor that was on here before was reading like what, 14 pounds per minute or something? Something way off the charts. As you can see now, it's considerably better. The hertz looks okay. All the timing advance looks good. Coolant temps up because we ran it quite a while before we started filming this. Intake air temp all looks normal. TPS voltage looks okay. O2 sensors are not doing anything at the moment because it's an open loop, so never mind. Fuel trims for now look okay. Look at the gaps. Now, we did come across some DCCs, knock sensor 1 circuit low. We think we know the problem with that. There's a custom wire made to go from the PCM to the knock sensor over there, and we think there's a break in it, so we think that's what the problem is with that. Whatever freeze frames in, apparently there's none of them. Maybe. Yeah.
And BT Dubs, earlier we made a video when we changed the plugs and we put E3 plugs in it. And oddly enough, like when we put the new plugs back in there and fired it up, it fired up. And
there we go. Now we're in closed
loop a little bit.
And the fuel trim. What's going on with the fuel trims here? Even the short terms are like at 10%. The 2 sensors are switching. Oh, maybe it'll stabilize here in a bit. Yeah, they're coming down. They're coming down.
The IAC.
IAC is at 37 right now. Desired is 36. So. Everything in here looks good. We'll address the knock sensor thing later.
Yep.
But at least everything in HP Tuners looks pretty good.
When you start it, it doesn't stall.
Yeah.
It starts.
Because, I mean, actually yesterday we were out here for a while. And we started it, and we were doing some trial and error. And it wanted to fall into space. Now, we let it run and warm up for a while. Then we shut it off. Now, before we went back inside, it was still warm. And when we went to go start it, and it did the same thing. So it wasn't just a cold reliant thing. It was if it sits for an extended period of time, then it doesn't want to start. And I mean, that cold air intake took longer than it probably should have, but that could have been user error.
Which you may think that it's like, why would you put a cold air intake on that when you have other things to do? Well, we do have other things to do, and we are going to do them. But it's like, let's get rid of the factory crap, which is really crap. If you look at it like corrugated crap, with another couple things that are supposed to make it quieter, but screw that.
Yeah.
I want my ear like jammed right in the plenum. So 5 horsepower, fine. 5 horsepower we had.
Yeah.
So,
And as you can hear, I silenced up that belt, and it's quiet as a church mouse under here.
Yeah.
Not even an exhaust leak, nothing.
It's purring like a kid. It's crazy.
Which WD-40 seems a temporary pill to fix the belt problem, so figure out what's going on with that stuff.
Take care of that. Yeah, excellent compression on all these.
Yeah, it's like we're average of 150 pretty much on all of them. So,
we just threw that on the cold air intake monitor because we had it. Just to get rid of the factory crap.
but
There's
yeah,
some E3 plugs in there, which
Yeah,
made a huge difference.
which we need some new wires too,
Which we have.
We have pretty much every new ignition component except the distributor base.
We're still going to turn the intake off.
Yeah,
Intake gas.
we're still doing everything that we were going to do before, but we're just temporarily doing things to see if maybe we can make it run. And as we can hear, it seems to
Perfect. Yep.
work great.
It fires up.
Auto response is actually better than it was before too. So, I'll come back with you later with some more stuff. So, thank you guys for tuning in today. Today's video wasn't really a video, but A, we needed something to get out, and B, we wanted to inform anyone that could be having the same problem with their Gen 6 454, because we do know someone else that did have a problem with it. It was doing the same thing as this one. So, thank you guys for watching. But I do want to remind you, if you don't start, neither will your project. So get off your and go build something. Come back for more later, though. So, see ya.